1976. A dark night. Cold winds over the ocean. The sea was silent, but inside Navy headquarters, tension was rising fast. An emergency meeting was underway. At the center stood a strong leader, Captain Jack Reynolds. A classified file was in front of him. The admiral spoke slowly. 12 days ago, a passenger ship carrying civilians vanished. Its name was USS Raven. Silence filled the room. Jack opened the file. Bloodstains, broken doors, strange symbols on the walls. The admiral continued. Unknown hostile forces have taken control of the ship. Every rescue team sent never returned. An officer spoke. Sir, 3 teams already went in, all lost. Jack replied instantly. Then we go. The admiral locked eyes with him. This is not a normal mission. Anyone approaching that ship doesn't come back. Fear spread across the room. Jack only smiled. We're Navy SEALs. We don't fear the dark. He selected his elite team. Ethan, sniper. Michael, tech specialist. Ryan, medic. Luke, explosives. And other top operatives. Jack gave the plan. We don't approach from the surface. We go in underwater. Silent entry. A stealth submarine moved through the dark ocean. Inside, complete silence. Only breathing and heartbeat sounds. As they neared USS Raven, systems started failing. Lights flickered. Michael spoke. Sir, navigation is breaking. Something is interfering. 10. The sonar detected movement. Ethan whispered. What is that? The submarine shook violently. Alarm systems triggered. It felt like something massive was dragging them down. Jack shouted. Hold control. Stabilize now. After a tense struggle, everything suddenly stopped. Silence again. But no one relaxed. The submarine stopped beneath the ship. This is the entry point, Jack said. They equipped diving gear and entered the freezing dark water. They saw deep scratches on the hull, as if something inside had been trying to escape. Danish suddenly frowned. Sir, look at this. A body was floating in the water. An old naval uniform, soaked and decayed. But the face was completely gone. One by one, the team moved through the broken hull. Inside, total darkness. Only flashlight beams cutting through the black. Water dripped slowly, echoing through the metal corridors. Silence everywhere. 10. A door slammed shut on its own. Everyone raised their weapons instantly. Jack muttered, Welcome to hell, boys. Deeper inside the ship, everything felt wrong. Dripping water echoed through the halls. A faint metallic ticking sound. And underneath it, soft, distant screams. Like someone was alive, but barely surviving. Furrows pointed ahead. A long corridor, stained with old blood. Suddenly, a shadow shot across the wall. "Their court," Furrows shouted. Weapons locked instantly. "Nothing there." Imran whispered. "Sir, something is moving with us." Jack ordered calmly. "Slow advance. Respond only to sound." They stopped at a heavy steel door. Half open. Scratched into it, in deep marks. "Don, T open." Hamza gave a nervous laugh. Classic warning sign. Jack looked at him coldly. "Open it." The door creaked. K-I-E-K-K. Inside, everyone frowned. The room was filled with civilian bodies. But wrong, completely wrong. Some were stuck into the walls. Some were missing limbs. Some had no faces left at all. In the center, a small child was sitting. Alive. "Sir, a survivor." Danish rushed forward. The child slowly looked up. His eyes were pitch black. And he smiled. Jack shouted, "Danish, get back." Too late. The child lifted into the air, bones twisting unnaturally. A deep voice filled the room. "You all will die here." He lunged. Crack. Danish was thrown hard into the wall. Motionless. Dead. Open fire. Gunfire erupted. Bullets tore through the room. And, silence. The child was gone. Fear settled in. Furrows whispered, "This isn't human." Imran's hands shook. "This is something else." Jack's voice stayed controlled. "Stay tight. Formation. Don't break." 10. All lights cut out. Complete darkness. Only their flashlights remained. Then one by one, they began to fail. Flicker, flicker, dim. Imran shouted, "Sir, system is jamming." And, total darkness. Voices started echoing in the black. Not shared. Each man heard something different. "Furrows, your brother." "Michael, your mother is crying." "Jack, you can save them all." Their minds started breaking. Hamza snapped, "Stop it." A faint light returned. Hamza stood alone. No one else. Empty corridor. "Sir," he whispered. Behind him, the child appeared. Silent. And softly. "Turn around." Hamza slowly turned. Impact. His body tore apart instantly. Blood across the corridor. Light returned fully. All men were there again. Standing. Breathing. Like nothing happened. But Hamza's body lay on the floor. Dead. Imran frowned. How is this possible? Jack's expression changed. Cold realization. This thing bends time and perception. Zane whispered, "It's not killing us, it's breaking us." Faraz added, "It wants us mentally dead first." Jack gave the order, full combat mode. Now, or we die one by one. At the end of the corridor, the civilians began to move again. But wrong. Mechanical. Like puppets. All speaking together. "You won't understand." Open fire. Gunfire erupted. Bullets tore through them. Bodies fell. 10. They stood up again. Imran shook. "Sir, they're not dying." Faraz fired a headshot. No effect. Suddenly, they stopped. Silent. Still. 10. Their bodies began to twist. Bones snapping inside. Crack, crack. They started melting. Like wax under heat. Merging together. A new shape formed. 10 feet tall. Not human. Not animal. Something between ocean and nightmare. Water darkness fused into a single mass. Inside it, white glowing eyes appeared. No fixed face. Only shifting forms. And within its body, down scenes of human faces screamed silently. Then it spoke, directly into their minds. "I did not come from the water. You came to me." The team collapsed slightly, holding their heads. Mental pressure unbearable. Silence after that voice, heavier than gunfire. Jack gathered himself. "What are you?" The entity shifted. The walls around them distorted. And, then, a vision appeared. Deep under the ocean. An ancient structure. A bottomless black void. Where it had come from. "I am part of the darkness, where light has never reached." Imran whispered, "Is this an alien?" Jack answered low, "This is not alien. This is something worse." The entity spoke again. "I am fear. I live inside your minds. I break your thoughts, and you destroy yourselves." A sudden movement. A shadow-like limb extended. Faraz was lifted into the air. "Sir!" he screamed. His eyes turned black. He aimed his weapon at his own head. "Noah!" Jack shouted. Bang! Faraz was gone. Silence hit the room. Now they understood. It didn't kill them. It made them kill themselves. Zane snapped. He threw a grenade. Boom! The entity exploded apart. But, instantly, it reformed. It stepped forward. Slow. Calm. "You all belong to me now. Your minds are mine." Suddenly, visions hit everyone. Their deaths. Their fears. Their past. All at once. Imran collapsed. "Sir, I can control it." Only Jack remained standing. Shaking. But focused. "I end this here." The entity laughed. "You cannot kill me. I exist everywhere." 10. The ship shook violently. Alarm screamed. Explosion deep inside the engine room. Zane shouted, "Ship is going down." Jack understood instantly. This is it. They moved into the engine room. Fire everywhere. Sparks falling. Metal breaking apart. The entity stood in the center. Massive. Unstable. The ship collapsing around it. Jack shouted, "Now, end it." Zane triggered the explosives. BOOM. A massive blast tore through the engine room. The entity shattered into fragments. A distorted scream filled the ship. "Nu." 10. Silence. Smoke filled the air. Debris falling. Jack slowly stood. "Is it over?" Imran, trembling. "Sir, I think we made it." Zane exhaled. "It's finally gone." They looked at each other. No celebration. Only exhaustion. Only silence. Hope started to return. Jack's voice cut through the chaos. "The ship is going down. Move to evac point. Now." Only 6 men remained. They ran through collapsing corridors. The ship still shaking, but something had changed. No whispers. No shadows. No presence. As they reached the submarine entry zone, Imran stopped. "Sir, wait." Jack snapped. "Move." Imran shook his head. "It can't end like this. It's too clean." 10. A violent hit from below. THUUM. The floor buckled. Everyone fell hard. Zane shouted, "What was that?" Another impact. Stronger. Like something enormous striking from beneath the ocean. Water started flooding in. But it wasn't normal seawater. It was black. Thick. Like liquid darkness. Imran stepped back. "Sir, this isn't what we killed." Jack frowned. "Then what is it?" The water rose. And from it, Something emerged. At first, just a shadow. Then form. Then scale. It was massive. Far larger than the previous entity. Almost swallowing the space itself. Its body was not solid. It was an abyss-given shape. Inside it, thousands of faces. Screaming. Alive. Trapped. A voice echoed directly in their minds. You destroyed only a fragment of me. Silence. Flouncing fear. I am the original. Jack whispered. This is the source. Suddenly, the creature struck. It grabbed the submarine remnants. CRRRIASH. Metal tore apart instantly. Their escape route disappeared. Imran screamed. Noah. Tentacles of shadow extended. One man was pulled. Seer help. Gone. No trace. Another. Gone. Another. Gone. No bodies. Just erasure. Within seconds, only 5 remained. Jack. Imran. Sane. 2 others. Sane whispered, we can't beat this. Imran broke. This is impossible. The creature moved closer. Each step shaking the structure. Its voice filled their minds again. You are prey. I am the ocean's truth. Jack tightened his grip. Fear visible, but steady. As long as we breathe, we fight. The creature arrived. Right in front of them. Everything darkened. Pressure crushing the space. Jack grabbed the radar. HQ, this is Captain Jack. Immediate airstrike. Coordinates sent. Full strike. Static. Then, air support en route. 2 minutes. The creature advanced. Slower. Certain. Imran shouted. Seer, it's closing in. Jack, hold. Just survive 2 minutes. They fired everything left. Bullets. Grenades. Suppressive fire. The creature slowed, but did not stop. 10. A distant roar split the sky. SHHHHHHHM. Sane looked up. Air support. The pilot's voice came through the radar. Locked and steady. Target locked. Fire. In the next moment, missiles slammed into the creature with devastating force. A chain of explosions erupted across the ocean. Boom. Boom one after another, until the entire area turned into a wall of fire. The creature let out an unbearable scream as its massive form began to tear apart. The faces trapped within it burned and twisted, dissolving into the flames. Its final roar echoed across the water. You will not escape. And then everything went silent. Helicopters arrived shortly after. Ropes were dropped, and Jack immediately ordered everyone to move. One by one, the 5 remaining commandos and rescue personnel climbed up. Below them, the USS Raven burned violently, before finally breaking apart and sinking into the dark ocean. Inside the helicopter, they were all injured and exhausted, but alive. Imran gave a weak, shaky laugh and said, Sir, looks like it's really over this time. Jack said nothing. He just stared out into the endless black ocean. The night flight began toward base. Inside the helicopter were 5 original commandos, 13 rescue soldiers, and 2 pilots, 20 people in total. Silence filled the cabin, broken only by heavy breathing and pain. Then the pilot spoke with concern. Captain, radar is glitching. The co-pilot added, compass is spinning too. Jack's expression tightened immediately. What do you mean? He asked. The pilot replied, feels like some kind of magnetic disturbance. At that moment, something massive moved beneath the ocean surface, pacing the helicopter at high speed. Imran looked down and frowned. Sir, look below. Jack leaned forward and saw it, a dark shape moving perfectly in sync with them under the water. Suddenly, a violent impact hit from below the IM, shaking the entire helicopter. Alarms screamed as the aircraft lost control. The pilot shouted, We're hit. We're losing control. The helicopter spun wildly and began to fall. Everyone screamed, bracing for impact, and then everything went black. Slowly, sound returned, waves, wind, and pain. Jack opened his eyes to find himself lying on a deserted island. Around him was wreckage from the destroyed helicopter, twisted metal still burning. One by one, survivors began to wake up. They counted themselves. 5 original commandos, 13 rescue soldiers, and 2 pilots all still alive, but injured. The island felt wrong. It was a dense jungle, yet completely silent. No birds, no animals, only wind moving through the trees. On the ground were the same strange black markings they had seen on the ship. Zane spoke quietly. Sir, this isn't a normal island. Imran added in a low voice. It's all connected. Then from deep inside the jungle came a sound, SSSSHHHHH, like something breathing. Everyone raised their weapons instantly. From the darkness, glowing eyes appeared. Then more. 10, 20, down scenes of them. Jack looked forward and said calmly, This isn't over. Ice slowly fell over the island. Thick clouds covered the sky, hiding most of the moon. The ocean waves crashed in the distance, but the jungle remained still, waiting. It is a living trap. The remaining soldiers stood frowning, weapons still raised, scanning the jungle in every direction. The silence after the explosion felt heavier than the attack itself. No movement, no sound, only the wet ground and the faint smell of burnt soil and black residue. Jack lowered his grenade launcher slightly, eyes sharp, calculating. We don't split again. We don't chase anything alone. We move as one unit only. Imran swallowed hard, trying to steady his breathing. Sir, that thing wasn't guarding the island. It was part of it. Zane looked down at the ground again, torch shaking slightly. The roots, they reacted, like they were waiting. A distant crack echoed through the trees. Everyone turned instantly. Nothing. Then another. Sound closer. A slow dragging noise through wet soil. Jack raised his hand. Freeze. The team stopped completely. The jungle didn't move, but something was clearly moving inside it. Then, from multiple directions at once, faint whispers started again, not voices from above this time from below. The ground itself seemed to carry them. Below, below, below. Eamon stepped back. Sir, it's repeating what Islam said. A sudden tremor ran through the earth. Not strong enough to topple them, but enough to confirm what none of them wanted to accept. Something large was shifting underneath the island. Jack's jaw tightened. Hold formation. No panic firing. A soldier on the left suddenly shouted, pointing forward. Movement. From between the trees, shapes began to appear again, eyes first, then bodies. Not fully formed creatures like before, but partial ones, half fruit, half flesh, emerging slowly from the soil as if the island was producing them. One of them stepped forward, then another, then several more. Zane raised his weapon. Sir, they're multiplying. Jack didn't look away from the center. No, they're assembling. The ground cracked slightly in front of them. A deep, slow rupture forming a line across the jungle floor. Imran whispered, It's opening again. Jack stepped back once. Everyone tied circle, now. But it was already too late. The soil split wide open, and something massive began to rise from below, not fully visible yet. But its presence alone warped the air. Trees bent inward slightly, as if gravity had changed. The smaller creatures dropped to their knees like they were obeying it. Jack's voice dropped. Whatever is coming, don't look away. The ground continued breaking open, and the island itself seemed to breathe for the first time. Jack's voice cut through the chaos. We hold here, no retreat. The 13 survivors tightened their formation on the rocky elevation, forming a narrow defensive line below them. The jungle was no longer silent, it was alive with movement, shifting shadows, and the sound of countless bodies forcing their way through soil and roots. From the tunnel in the ground, the first wave emerged. Hundreds of glowing eyes. No clear forms, just masses of root, flesh, and black fluid climbing upward like an endless infestation. Jack raised his rifle, fire at will. The line opened up. Gunfire turned into a continuous roar. Muzzle flashes lit the night in rapid bursts. The first wave collapsed under heavy fire, bodies breaking apart into soil and liquid, but there was no pause. More kept coming. Emin shouted over the noise. Sir, they're not slowing down. Zane reloaded his launcher with shaking hands. This is infinite. Another surge pushed out of the tunnel, stronger than before. The ground itself cracked wider, expanding the entrance like a wind in the earth. Jack's eyes stayed locked forward. Don't aim for bodies. Aim for the source. Keep them inside the tunnel. The team adjusted fire downward, trying to contain the flood at its origin. Explosions. Followed one. Boom, collapsing parts of the tunnel entrance. For a brief moment, the waves slowed. Then the earth shifted again. A deep, heavy vibration rolled through the island. Not footsteps, not movement. Something far larger repositioning itself underground. The surviving soldiers fell silent for half a second, sensing it before seeing it. From inside the tunnel, the glowing eyes stopped rushing forward. They parted, as if making space, and then something massive began to rise. Not a creature fully formed, more like a structure, assembling itself from the darkness below. Twisting mass, layered with countless trapped faces, all pushing against an unseen surface inside it. The air pressure changed. The jungle bent inward. Emmett stepped back. Sir, this is not another wave. Zane whispered. This is command level. Jack didn't lower his weapon. Whatever it is, we stop it here. The structure rose higher, blocking most of the tunnel opening. The smaller creatures suddenly stopped attacking and dropped into stillness, as if waiting for it to fully emerge. Then the voice returned inside their heads, not through sound. Calm, deep, absolute. You survive. Because I allow it. The survivors frowned again. The entity continued. You fight the surface, while I shape words beneath. Jack's grip tightened. All units, prepare full strike on my mark. The structure continued rising, revealing an impossible scale-apart tunnel, part living ecosystem, part void. The jumble above trembled as if reacting to its presence. Zane looked at Jack. Sir, if this goes wrong. Jack cut him off. No if. He raised his hand slightly. The line steadied. Weapons aligned. The creatures below stopped completely, waiting. The island itself felt like it was holding its breath. Jack's voice dropped. Now. Static filled the radar for several seconds, long enough to feel like an answer would never come. 10. Echo Team. This is Naval HQ. Loud and clear. A wave of relief passed through the remaining survivors. Some Marines collapsed onto their knees. Others simply lowered their weapons, unable to process the silence after so much chaos. Imran exhaled hard. Sir, we're actually hearing them. Zane looked around the burning island. It's really over. Jack didn't respond immediately. His eyes scanned the horizon, fire consuming the jungle, smoke rising in thick columns, and the shadowed ground where the tunnel once existed. The commander approached. Captain, extraction is being arranged. We're pulling everyone out. Jack gave a slow nod. Confirm survivors first. A count began across the beach. Injured Marines, scattered survivors, command team all accounted for. Some missing, some presumed lost. But the island, for the first time, was not moving, not reacting, not alive. Above them, helicopters repositioned for a final pickup. The sea remained unusually still, almost unnatural. No waves crashing aggressively, no wind patterns shifting like before. Just black water reflecting firelight from the island. Imran stepped closer to Jack. Sir, do you think it can come back? Jack finally spoke, voice slow and steady. If something like that exists once, it doesn't disappear, it only changes form. Zane tightened his grip on his gear. Then we didn't end it. Jack turned slightly toward the burning jumble. No, we only cut the part that showed itself. A long silence followed. Then the first evacuation rope dropped. One by one, survivors were lifted from the island, Marines first, wounded next, command team last. As Jack stepped toward the rope, he paused. Just for a moment. He looked back at the island. The fire, the smoke, the broken ground, the collapsed tunnel. For a fraction of a second, the darkness between the trees seemed to move again. Not attacking, not rising, just watching. Jack narrowed his eyes slightly, then turned away. Move out, he ordered, and was lifted into the sky. Minutes later, the island was far behind them, receding into smoke and ocean haze. Inside the helicopter, exhaustion finally took over. Injured soldiers sat there in silence. No celebration, no relief strong enough to speak. Imran leaned back, whispering almost to himself. It's finally done. Jack stared out of the window at the endless dark sea below, and didn't answer. Echo Team radio crackled through static as HQ asked for status. Jack replied in a heavy, exhausted voice that the mission was complete. The survivors regroup. What had started as more than 20 personnel was now reduced to just 10. Captain Jack, Imran, Zane, and 6 Marines. All of them were injured, covered in blood, dust, and exhaustion, standing in silence after everything they had endured. Then the ground gave a faint vibration again. Imran immediately tensed, but Jack raised his weapon and ordered everyone to stay alert. From the center of the destroyed jumble, a final column of black smoke slowly rose. From within it came a faint voice claiming they could not be fully destroyed. Zane, overwhelmed with anger, reached for a grenade, but Jack stopped him, refusing any further risks. Instead, Jack contacted HQ and requested a final orbital strike confirmation. HQ responded instantly, confirming the coordinates were locked. From the sky, a single strike descended, followed by a massive explosion that lit the entire island in a blinding white flash. The ground shook violently as a huge wave rose from the ocean, and then everything fell into complete silence. No movement, no shadows, no soundly emptiness where the island once existed. Zane whispered that it might finally be over, and Imran, exhausted, accepted that they had survived. Jack remained silent for a moment, before stating that the mission was complete. Helicopters arrived shortly after, followed by naval ships. Searchlights scanned the ruins as ropes were dropped for extraction. Zane looked back and said, "No one should ever return to this place." And Imran agreed quietly. Jack stood at the edge of the helicopter, staring down at the ocean, where the island had turned into a burned crater, slowly being swallowed by the sea. HQ gave clearance for return, and Jack simply said, "Let's go home." The helicopter ascended as the island faded into the distance. disappearing into mist as sunrise broke across the horizon. Operation Black Tide was officially closed, and the unknown threat was declared neutralized. Inside the helicopter, 10 survivors Saturday in silent Celia but deeply changed by what they had experienced. Imran softly said they had made it out. Zane confirmed it was finally over, but Jack looked down at the calm ocean and quietly said that some wars should never have come to the surface. The helicopter continued flying toward base as the island vanished completely from view, leaving only endless ocean, waves, and silence behind.